This is the third qualifier for the Open Invitation Monster Train Tournament, number 2. I'm just playing to see how I do, even though I won't be able to participate at the actual tournament. So let's, if we look at our scores, we have a lot of low 40,000s, so there's a little bit of toughness. We got a couple super long play times, but that happens on occasion. And 45, almost 46 is the top score. So let's see how we can do. We have Melting Remnant, so Little Fade's very strong. All the pathways have very good uses. Stygian Forgone Power is useful. With Forgone Power, I tend to purge a lot of them because multiples in your hand typically aren't as helpful. With its larger starting size of your deck in Covenant 25, I usually keep maybe 2 or 3. If you're playing lower Covenants, I usually keep at most 1. That way you can control what you discard. Now let's go ahead and get started. So our starting cards, Flash Freeze is good, Backline Clear, which will be useful. Whiplash will help us if we have to return anything with Reform and keep it from dying. It's also good if we get the burn out path of Little Fade. Fatal Melting, I'm not always the biggest fan of. It doesn't do anything turn 1, so it's a dead draw turn 1. And later turns, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. It just depends how many deaths you have and the deck you're building. So let's go ahead and look at our artifacts. So Concussive Coals, I don't really want that with Little Fade. There's 2 of the pathways that you want Little Fade to either die or get attacked. Actually, all 3 of the pathways you want him basically to die. So I'm not going to take that. Mold Braces does help tanking a little bit if our Little Fade dies a lot. So I'm going to take him. So Spike's Little Fade is a lot of fun in my opinion. When you do start with 5 Reform abilities, you can really start ramping him up. Now that being said, first, Stygian Guard does not have any good ways to really pump its life unless you get the Incant Armor Totem. We're also against Seraph the Chaste, who will cut the spikes in half each time it goes to that floor. So that's going to be a very difficult one to make work well. So I'm going to take Firelight. Firelight's typically my favorite. Really, really helps ramp up some damage and scale your units. Alright. So what we have here, this guy's just going to die. I don't really want my train steward to die because I want to be able to get my Little Fade consistently. So currently, all right. Just clear out as much of these as possible. We'll get the ones with burnout just to maximize damage. I am going to take some, and I'm not going to get the bottom 4 kill, but that's fine. Alright, there's enough at least for the second floor kill. Not the strongest start, only 1550 out of up to 1810, but it's not the worst. So from these Memento Mori, I like even less than a Fatal Melting. Entombed Explosives can be a lot of fun, especially if you get the double extinguish trigger. However, I'm going to not skip that, or I'm going to skip that. And Hollow Drippings, I still typically skip that whenever I see it. So as far as these spells go, Spell Weakness is always a super strong strategy if you have Stygian, just because it has some major damage cards. I also enjoy Offering Token that helps you get through things like your dead weights in deck or dig more for the molds. But I'm going to take the Siphons to see if I can't push further for some earlier flying kills. Now this combo, especially with Extinguish, Little Fade here, the Burnout one, this is one of the few times where I often will go the Remnant Banner instead of Stygian Banner. So what do we got? We got Health, Incant, and Quick. I'm going to be greedy. I'm going to go for gold. And we'll give him the Incant. And, ooh, nice, multi-strike. Alright, so this will help my greed a lot. I'm going to stick him behind Little Fade. He's going to gain a bunch of armor, hopefully. And if I'm lucky, get me a bunch of kills. Now, I could play the Train Steward here. However, he's just going to die wherever I play him, which I don't want. Because I want to get him out. Now, while it'd be nice to get that extinguisher, I'm going to minimize my damage instead. Oops, that was a slight mistake. Really should have played that here. Alright, so I did take some more damage, but it's at least a bottom floor kill. And I did get a good amount of gold from him, even though I missed the collector. I'm going to take the Molded for the targeted reform, and I'm going to take the Ice Tornado, because that way I have a big damage spell if I get a lot of spell damage stacking. Now, here, this is actually a pretty tough choice. I love Stygian Banners because you can get the Draw Totem from it. It also has some good tanks that can really help the Paraffin Thug. It also has all of my Incant scaling. However, I really want one or two. I didn't get them. There's some really good Remnant units. The one that gives a Rage to Burnout units is great. That's what I was hoping for. Okay, so but I get the dupe. My plan is to dupe the Paraffin Thug, just in case there's an upgrade for him here. I'm going to do this first, though. Yeah, see? I'm going to give him 25 health. I don't want to go the Heartless in plus 10 health because I want my Little Fade to die as often as possible. And we'll dupe him. So I got some multi-strike and gold generation on a unit. That's unfortunate. I did not want to see that on the bottom floor. And I am going to do this in Cant, right? It does increase him, but he gives 2 armor, so it's a little bit better. I'm going to do the random first. There we go. Now the little fade dies. I encanted him up enough. He's just ramping up in armor and in. Ooh, yeah, we'll have him die. Oh, he won't quite die. Uh-oh. That was a slight mistake. That's fine. For some reason, I thought that was 8. Instead, we'll do that. And we'll incant him one more. Just putting as much damage on that guy as possible. Alright, it's still the kill, so that's fine. Easy enough. I'm getting a lot of gold, which is great, because I can really make my deck what I want it to be with that. Bounty Stalker is a lot of fun. He can really ramp up. Double Extinguish really pumps up his health. Giving him Endless and Double Strike will also be very good. I can always flash freeze it every single turn if I get that combo. So we're going to take him. And none of these are guys I want. So if we look, I am again Fell the Wings of Light. So I'm actually going to take the +1 Ember, just because that one can be a bit of a struggle, since I am going to be spending a lot of my Ember each round. And I'm going to go this way. One last chance to get a lodestone, one of my totems. Don't care about either of those. Just take the gold. There's the multi-strike for him. And we're going to purge out a couple of cards. The Train Stewards are clunky and they fill up my reform pool. So I'm going to waste a lot of gold just to get rid of those. I like to stay above at least 100 gold before a fight, just in case. So I won't get rid of any more. Alright. So for this, I'm going to actually place him in the front. That way it dies, and I can get the guy I actually want. Down here and start pumping him up. What was my last card? Wicklash. Let's see if I can't draw another Burnout card. And he's taking 10, 18 damage. Let's have him survive, just so he doesn't clog up our reform pool. Don't get the card I want, but that's fine. Still get the kill. I'm going to take this. There's some later units I don't want to have their buff effects, so we'll get that out of there. But not enough that I think I want the resin removal as well. And we'll skip all these. More spell weakness is fun. Alright. Let's see what my next few are. So there's a golden dupe, which is nice, and there's some more purge. Here has the purge. I could go... Also has concealed caverns. That makes this side a little bit better. But I do think I want some spell upgrades before I get to the last battle. I'm going to take this just so it's not useless turn 1. Always want my Whiplash and to be able to play it. And we'll save this for a lot of damage. So this is not quite enough to kill him. He's at what? 125 health, and I'm doing 108. So I do have to Whiplash here. It's also not enough to kill that there. Hopefully I don't end up regretting what I've done. I'm gonna put that there. There's a good chance this will, yeah, exactly what I wanted. Okay. Because this will die first, pumping both of those up. And I just feel like trying to kill this. It's not going to quite work, but you know, it's okay. I still get the bottom floor kill. I'm going to take that for the Titan's Claw. That means my frozen card is going to get buffed, which is great, by costing 0. Now, Concealed caverns are always tempting, same with that dupe for my spell weakness. But I still want to see if I can't find an endless. Actually, we'll just put a triple strike on him. Triple strike's good enough. And we're going to get rid of one of our train stewards and one of our foregone powers. Right, and because of those, that's exactly why I've been taking the, I took the extra ember, because if you're not careful, alright, hopefully I draw one of my target removals next turn. Good. Oh. Well. Let's see what happens here. So that was the worst case scenario. I'm gonna frostbite that just so I can hit him for a lot of spell damage. And him on the top floor will give me some more gold, which is good. Not enough for a flying kill, but it was pretty close. Not really a frostbite build, so that's not going to be helpful for getting a flying kill. The Ice Empire, I could upgrade permafrost that would put it at 140. If it's the consume upgrade, that's 190. This guy is at 120. If I give it another 10, that's 150. We'll take it. And this time I will take the draw. Alright. While I did kind of want to go that way, I will end up going spells. We're going to give Wicklash holdover and the other Wicklash a -0 upgrade. Did spend a lot of gold, which is fine in my case, because I have a lot of it. Purge a card. The worst card I can have is a 4-count power. And I want a rare Stygian because they're better. So gifts for a guard is pretty fun. If I can get a remove consume on that Ice and Pyre, it is going to decrease my deck size a lot. It does give my Moldeds consume. I'm going to take it. I'm going to be greedy and see if I can't abuse that in the final fight for a flying kill. Armor 20 can be a little bit annoying. I'm just going to do as much damage as possible. Not save that for the boss. We'll see if that's a mistake or not. But it's what I've done. Let's use our primitive mold first. Yeah, that's what I was worried about, both of those dying. Same with both of these. Because that backliner... That's 20 damage coming through. I should be able to play enough spells here at least. That he won't kill that guy. So I am going to take 1 damage so far. But let's see if I can't get that flying boss kill. There we go. I really needed to kill that last unit. Because he was giving him that double strike, and that's just going to tear through my guys if I didn't do that. Don't want any of these. Don't need a Silence Tome. Alright, let's check our artifacts here. So if we look at our deck, I don't really need all my spell power turn 1. However, getting the clippings is really nice. So I didn't get the remove consume again, which is unfortunate. But I did get some nice cards. Now I could spend a lot more money, which is what I think I'll end up doing. We'll duplicate the Ice and Pyre. Actually, I should have duplicated the... Should have probably actually duplicated the consume, apply for spell weakness, but that's okay. I'm gonna start by setting up here. And we're just gonna deal that damage right away. Get cards out of my hand. And I'm just going to keep alternating the floors I put this guy on. There we go. He dies. That's what I want. Now I can get both of those guys on my bottom floor. Let's see, it's 10, 20, 35, 34. There we go. I guess I'll have to save this just to kill that front unit next time. And that has to die. This is 2, 4, 6, 12, so I could play them all here to let them live. So I don't take damage.
Not quite enough for the kill. But I should be able to get the second floor kill, I would hope. Because it really depends what I get right here. Yeah. Alright, a second floor kill, so that's at least 10,000 points, which is good. So 44,880 compared to the others, that does put it in third. I had a couple strategies going on here. The bounty stalker with triple strike. I could have let this die more and I didn't, which would have really increased its attack. Instead, I just kept feeding it to Little Fade, so maybe that was a mistake. I had the Paraffin Thugs, a pair of those for all of my gold needs. So I spent a lot of gold, still ended with 570. I had a little bit of a consume strategy with wing clippings and my gifts for the guard, as well as the ability to freeze things and make them cost 0. So a few different strategies, maybe that hindered it, maybe it helped, but this is my end score. If we look at the two people ahead of us, they did a much different strategy. They took the Petrified Heart with the spikes. Once again, I think spikes is a very risky one with Chased, but it seems to have worked out for them. They have the Multi-Strike Baron, which is always fun. So basically, they just built up their Baron with and Little Fade, and use that to kill everything. And apparently, they got a Vapor Funnel, which really helps in case you start leaking. And in first place, they have Little Fade Burnout plus 4 Wickless Barons. So basically, they had a floor. They had double capacity, so they already had 6 or 7 capacity on their bottom floor, where they could just put 2 or 3 Wickless Barons in Little Fade, possibly an Entombed Explosive instead, and just use that for the win. Alright, that's the end of Qualifier 3.